Yo, what is going on, guys? Bex here, and today we are going to be breaking down the free agents available and what teams are going to look like for World War II. It's actually insane to see everything that's going down and that could go down. And I'm going to jump straight into it. There's uh, four teams that I'm going to break down that look like are going to be formed and look like have the potential to be a very decent team. So the first one is obvious as Envy, Slasher, Hook, Temp, Classic. I've broke these guys down in the other video, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. Slasher, obviously the leader, the veteran there, he really formed this team. Hook, the young gun, started in COD, dominated, switched to Halo, dominated, is now 18, so he's coming back to Call of Duty, and he's planning on dominating again, and I think he's going to be very good. Temp and Classic, again. Temp made a name for himself in AW, I believe, and Classic is just a veteran player. He's been around for a while now, and he's been very good and pretty consistent. So that lineup I think looks pretty solid. I don't know if it's going to be better than JCap, John, and Apathy. I think if they stuck together going into boots in the ground, I think JCap and John could have picked it up, and they could have been an actually really dominant team. But next up, we got the FaZe clan. The new FaZe roster, rumored to be about, is that they're getting rid of Gunless, which is kind of dumb because they traded Clayster for Gunless, and I guess it helped them a little bit, but they didn't really outplace Clay by too much at Call of Duty Champs. So that roster is going to be Attach and Zuma, pretty much are guaranteed. They seem like they really want to be there and really want to stay there. Replays is going to come on, it seems like. So Enable might be gone and be replaced by Replays, and then their fourth is up for debate, and everyone's talking about it. It's just going to be predicted to be a young gun, someone like Priesta. That's been the main talk, is that Priesta is going to join that team. He's going to be like that young gun stud, and Attach and Zuma are going to be the SMGs, and Replays the AR player, and Priesta like a versatile player. So that team is actually pretty balanced on paper. We'll see how it comes to the game. The next team is going to be Luminosity, and they actually picked up, or seems like they're going to be Octane at Slacked, JCap, and John. Now this team is probably the most balanced free agent team out there right now, and it's actually comprised of two duos, which Octane and Slacked have been together and are kind of small duos, and then JCap and John have been together and have dominated together, obviously last year and 2 years ago when they won champs, and then they placed second at this one. So they're actually really good. They're coming into this team is going to have Octane as the AR, and it's going to be Slack to the main SMG. JCap going to be obviously another AR. He's going to be really AR heavy player. He dominated Black Ops 2. This gamer in the background right here really dominated it in with his AR, with his M8 shot, and being able to hold down positions. He was actually really good. And John, obviously, just the super slayer SMG player going back on boots. He's going to be very good in my opinion. I think he's going to be pretty unmatched and pretty hard to stack up against. We're just going to have to see how these play out. If these teams even get made. If they don't get made, always a possibility that things fall through. Obviously, the players know more than anyone else. The last team I'm going to talk about is pretty out there, I guess. It doesn't have an org yet, so they're looking for one. And it looks to be Aches, Nameless, Enable, and Apathy. And I've actually looked into this team a little bit and saw what other people are talking about with it. And it's a very AR heavy team. Honestly, I think Apathy is the only one on that roster who could really go main SMG. Other than that, Aches is an AR, Nameless is really an AR, and Enable is an AR. So they're going to need one of them to maybe be a flex or switch on and off, or just go straight dedicated SMG and see which one of them can actually pull it off. If I had to guess out of one of these, I would say Nameless, because I've seen him use an SMG in previous CODs, so he's not a stranger to it as much as like Aches and Enable would be. They've been main ARs for a while, and Aches has actually been not even been on the scene for a while, so they're going to be seeing what goes on with them. Another big issue that a lot of people are talking about with this team is that there's too many leaders. There's going to be too many people clashing heads and personalities clashing because they're really a team full of leaders who want, their plans to go out, their strats, what they want to call the plays. The only person on this team who is said to be able to take a backseat role and be someone who is actually not have to be a leader, doesn't have to be in charge so much, is Apathy. I could see him taking a backseat role, and so can a lot of other people that are talking about these teams. But Aches, Nameless, and Enable, they've all are leaders, and they all have been leaders on other teams. So going from a leader to someone who has to take a backseat role and can't really get your words out there or something because you're dealing with too many other leaders could be a big problem. And then just along with Aches on this team, it's a huge deal that this is his last attempt to come back because he's been pretty irrelevant in all of the jetpack CODs. Going back to Boots obviously puts him back into perspective, back into a theory where you could say he's going to be good because he was good at Black Ops 2. Or he was good in Black Ops 2 and Ghost and whatever. But I don't know if he can be so relevant unless he comes out and has a star performance and plays like a stud and has an MVP type first LAN, or like, I don't know if many pro players or many players in general are going to be giving him too much of a chance. And I don't know what he's going to do after this if he's not going to be competing. It's going to be really tough for him to come back. It's going to be really tough for him to dominate. My prediction, I don't think he's going to come out and dominate like he used to, especially after having, 2-3 down years. That's just really hard to do, really hard for anyone to do. So that's all the teams that I'm seeing right now that could be formed out of the free agents. There's still more free agents. I'm going to have another video on this after that on the free agents who are out there, who not many people might not know about too much. But overall, these whole things, all of this roster mania and all of these team changes and craziness with rosters only helps OpTic. So that's a lot of people are focused on that, but if you look at OpTic, obviously they're not changing rosters. They have 4 dominant players, and they just won COD champs, and they did it pretty phenomenally. This really helps them out a ton because everyone's getting crazy. Everyone needs new strats. They got to get new chemistry, gel together, and it's just going to be very tough for those teams to come out of the gates swinging, whereas OpTic, they don't even have to play together anymore, really, to know what each other is going to do, know the chemistry, be able to call out strats and everything. It's going to be interesting to watch to see if OpTic can be as dominant as everyone's predicting them to be because of this roster mania stuff. I think they can be. I think even without roster mania, they could be very dominant. So that's about it for this. That's about all the rosters, and it's all only going to help OpTic. It's a lot of fun to watch this go down. I love seeing roster mania, especially going into a new COD. It's really cool. So yeah, that's it. I can't wait to see how the new rosters do form and how they actually perform at LANs and tournaments. But guys, as always, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. I love channel support. It really helps the channel grow, and I will see you guys in my next video.